Good morning. I'm Margie, the Bootleg Knitter. How are you today? For those that maybe joined and I didn't explain who I am and what I do, so I am a retired high school history teacher from New Jersey. Now I do historical education. I absolutely love it. I get to play dress up. Like, who doesn't like to play dress up? So I have outfits mostly from the 1700s, and I go to various historical locations around central Pennsylvania and sometimes a couple other places, and I do historical education. I also do guest teaching at a couple high schools where I teach textile, explaining to the kids how we go from fleece, which is, this stuff, all the way to this. Yeah. So what am I up to? Again, it's beautiful out. It's sunny, a little chilly. It was 5 degrees here this morning, but I got a fire going. I got a nice wool sweater on. I got wool socks on. The dogs ate. They're quiet for right now. So I'm trying to get this done. This is actually take 4. I was almost done, and then my phone decided, oh, you don't have enough memory right now, and we are going to stop your video. So I had to go through and delete a bunch of stuff. And then I started again, and my husband's clomping up the stairs. I'm like, hon, I love you, but come on, I'm trying to get a video done. So I don't know, he just ran out to go to the store somewhere. I think he's taking all the recyclables over to the recycling center. Yeah. So what's going on? I keep saying I'm going to stop saying so much, but I keep saying it. I apologize. It's my word. This is I have it right here. It's the Susie Roger reading mitt pattern. It is absolutely lovely. You can see it has a lace pattern on the bottom. You can see the holes. It's just a simple yo, knit 2 together. The picot edge, I love the way this picot edge is made. You do part of the pattern and then you just turn it over. Like, you just turn the edge down to get this picot edge. It's really cool. And then, as you can see, I line them with fleece. These are for a friend of mine. She actually gave me the yarn and the pattern. She was saying, oh, I have this yarn, I have this pattern, I haven't done it. I've been sitting here looking at it. I don't know. I'm like, all right, give it to me. Just give it to me. And I will do them for you. So I just finished them last night, and I will see her next week. So this is her Merry Christmas present, is her knit mitts. Put them down there. I also knit this sweater. I didn't do this recently. I did this 2 years ago. If you go to aran.com, A-R-A-N, as in Ireland, you can get the patterns. You can get the fiber and the patterns. It's actually cheaper to get the wool and the pattern from Ireland than it is to get it here, which is kind of crazy. But it's Irish wool. It's not real soft. So again, you don't want to put it next. I can't wear it next to my neck. You don't want to put it next to your skin. At least maybe some people can. My neck is really sensitive, so I have to make sure that I have, something else on. Otherwise my neck starts to itch. The prickle factor, right? So now I'm hanging out. I am preparing some fiber for spinning. So this is fiber from my sheep petals. I placed it. Let me show you how I do this. It's really easy. These are hand combs. They're very sharp. I've done this before in a couple of videos. But if you're new here, you haven't seen it. So I'm just going to put the fiber. These are the tips. You can see how the tips are a little harder. I tend to put the tips in first. I'm not real picky. I don't sit there and say, examine, is that tip in? And you can see it's still a messy. So what I'm going to do is, again, these are Viking combs. They're very sharp. You have to be careful using these. You got to be careful where you put these. I always put them, when I'm stored, they're always like this, back in the box and away. So here we go. I'm just going to, and that's okay that's like that. That's okay, because we're going to do it a couple times. Kind of like the way you brush your hair if you have long hair. You start at the tips and you work your way in, and you can see that the fiber is being transferred from one hand comb to the other hand comb. There we go. So that's what we're doing today. And then I will have a whole bunch of this done, and now All right, so see how there's still some back here that's not real nice. So again, I will turn this around. There we go. Make sure I get all these done. Again, always going away from my body, especially away from my eyes since I'm sitting in a chair. You don't want to poke yourself in the eyeball, right? What I will do sometimes, you see how it's all here and it's not going through nicely? I'll just loosen it up a little bit. There we go. And now it's going much better. Here we go. Sometimes I'll just make sure I got it all. This is really good for getting the dirt out too. Now, this fiber is really clean. If I had fiber that was not this clean, I would have a towel or something on me. So this is what's left. You can see it's the short pieces, really short little pieces. I have a bucket over here. My girlfriend's getting that. So now it's all nice. I will loosen this up a little bit back here on the back end. And see, I open it, I move it up and around to just loosen it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to gently pull. The cleaner your fiber is, meaning the less lanolin, like if this was washed, this was actually simmered on the stove with some Orvis paste. I use Unicorn Power Scour usually, but I was out, so I have Orvis. It works. Some people use Dawn. Dawn's a little harsh. And then I did 2 rinses with it, with, again, on the stove, not boiling, just a very light simmer. Here we go. So see again how I'm pulling this down. And when you start getting like, starting to get some neps up here, so I'm gonna stop. Again, this fiber is going into the bucket over here. My girlfriend will use that to felt, and now look at this roving. Look at that. I will take this and I will roll it on my hand. I hope you can see okay with this sun. It just feels so good. See, I make a little bird nest out of it. And then I have a bag over here that I'm going to put it in. And then when I have this pile, let me show you this pile, sorry, my hand. See this pile over here? This is what I'm going to comb. And then I have my spinning wheel over here. I'm gonna put this in my bag. Get in there. There we go. There's my Daedalus spinning wheel. Okay, when that's full, I will transfer half of it. I just kind of eyeball it. I'll transfer half of it onto a bobbin on my Kromsky, which is over there on the other side of the room. And then I will ply them to make a 2-ply. I have about, I'm gonna say 400 yards so far of 2-ply. It's probably a Sport DK, not Sport, not DK, kind of right in the middle, yarn so far from Petals. And again, she's a Romney sheep. My granddaughter, I go, guys, I gotta go to my grandkids, I got a sheep. And so they decided, they were throwing names around, and my granddaughter goes, Petals, and my grandson said, yes, Petals. So I'm like, all right, cool. So Petals it is. I was hoping to get like 1,000 yards. This is her very first fleece. It's so nice and soft. I don't think I'm gonna have 1,000 yards, because basically for a sweater, I'd probably need about 1,000 yards, especially because it's a thinner fiber. Unless I were to do a cropped sweater, or like a shorter sweater, maybe 3/4 length sleeves, then maybe I could get away with it if I can get to about 800 yards, but it would be tight. So if I don't get enough, I'm definitely going to make a pair of the reading mitts that I showed you, the Susie Rogers pattern. The fingerless gloves. I had a pair, I no longer have a pair. Somebody needed them, so I lent them out, and then I said they can keep them. So I need a pair of fingerless gloves. So I will probably do that. I will probably knit fingerless gloves out of this. And then what I would do is, after they're knit, before I line them, I will make a pot of cochineal, which is a beetle. I'll make a pot of cochineal dye. And then I will chuck the mitts in the pot. Now you're like, well, why don't you just dye the yarn ahead of time? Well, I have found with the natural dyeing, it's really hard to get it all the same color, especially if I'm doing more than one skein. But if I take both mitts and chuck them in the pot at the same time, I mean, there still might be some variation, but it'll definitely be much more even if I just chuck the mitts in the pot. And then with the rest of the yarn, I'm going to do, let me find the pattern here. Here it is. This is a pattern by Liz Clothier. It's hard to see. It's called the Tannenbaum Cowl. Sorry guys, the picture's not the best. This is in kind of like a speckled yarn. I guess it's a sparkly yarn as well. Excuse me. See? Again, the Tannenbaum Cowl. Tannenbaum Cowl by Liz Clothier. It's CLOTH. Is it IER? Yeah, that's what it looks like. THER. It's very, very small print, you know, us old people. Hard to see. But if you go on, if you just type in Tannenbaum Cowl, it is a free pattern on Ravelry. So now, see this piece did not get done. I'm not gonna, this is a good piece. So what I'll do is I'll just move it to the front. There we go. I'm not gonna waste that piece and put it in the scrap pile for felting because it was such a beautiful piece of fiber. Sometimes, again, I'll turn it this way to try to get as much as I can. Now, these Viking combs are from, all right, BAM Fiberworks. And this symbol, see BAM Fiberworks? I know I'm pointing this to myself, being careful. BAM Fiberworks, and it's actually 2 ram heads. Just quite clever. I like that design. It's a very clever design. And they came with, if you notice, there's holes. So it came, I could actually clamp these to a table and do this on a table. But I like sitting down doing it. So here, again, I'm gonna loosen this fiber up in the back a little bit. Pull the roving down, there we go. To me, this is just very, very soothing. Pulling the fiber through. A lot of times I'll watch a video. I'll watch some other fiber artist videos. I like to do that. One of my favorites is the High Fiber Diet, and I bring it every day. So yeah, that's what's going on. Today, my mom has her personal trainer. My mom turns 80 tomorrow, and she goes to a personal trainer at the gym. And let me tell you, he kicks her butt, and she does it. It's amazing. She's actually still sleeping right now. And it's amazing what she does at the gym. So I'm going to get a workout in. She's going to get a workout in. And then I'm going to start, excuse me, a new blanket on the loom over there. So that's what's happening. I hope you'll have a nice day. I hope you'll have a blessed, Merry, Merry Christmas. Okay? Have a good one.